Hello, good evening. Today is Tuesday, September 5th, and this is day 9 on the Handpan 365 challenge. Today is actually the night of the full moon, so we're going to be heading up to Garden of the Gods and catching the drum circle up there. So I guess this is one way to travel. Hello, good evening. How are you doing? I'm having a baby.
I know. And you're a Ninja Turtle.
And a Ninja Turtle. So this is the full moon drum circle every month of the year. If you don't have any instruments, come and borrow one.
Everybody's stuck on the 7:30. I see I train you for one thing and then I do a whammy.
What's up with that, John?
Welcome to my life. Can everybody hear me?
No.
Huh?
Who are you?
What?
What?
Oh, I heard that. Yeah, I can hear that. Yeah, that's fine.
I'll do the movies. Okay, we're gonna right now. That's it.
There you go. That worked.
So tonight's moon is known as the full corn moon. Also, it's the full harvest moon. Now, the harvest moon can be both in September or October. It all depends on some of the alignments of the planets. And it's one reason why it's called the full corn moon, because this is when it's usually harvested. And they can actually harvest till late in the evening because the harvest moon is going to be brighter and it stays up a lot longer. So they can work well into the night to bring in the harvest. Now, this particular moon right now is still being influenced by the eclipse that we had, a week or two ago. And that effect is going to be going on through January. So this eclipse was a very powerful one. So there's going to be a lot of changes going on in everybody's lives, right? And you can make them positive, all right? They may seem disturbing up front, but depending on your attitude, your thought process, you can make it into something extremely positive. But no matter what, there's change occurring. So embrace it. Don't fight it. Now, this particular full moon's in Pisces, and now people always ask me, why am I doing it when the full moon's tomorrow? Well, you know what time it starts, the full moon?
Tonight.
12:04:55. Oh, 54, excuse me. I'll get it right to the right second. All right, so right after midnight is when the moon is at its fullest. So I generally do the full moon drumming when it is waxing, not waning. It's in its most potent time. Though the effect of the full moon is usually 2 days before, the day of, and about 2 days after. So if you're doing anything those times, you can still maneuver around it. But tonight, this particular time is the most powerful. Now, the full moon in Pisces this particular one is making a change of pace. All right, it might have been hectic. You know, you had two eclipses. You had a lunar eclipse, a partial lunar eclipse, and then a solar eclipse. So there was a lot of energy that was kind of chaotic. Right? There's been a lot of emotional ups and downs. Well, now this particular moon is going to start bringing you into a more balanced type of energy, a more peaceful type of energy. But it's also allowing us to journey into the depths of our souls, into ourselves. Right? So this is actually a great moon not to overthink things. If you're very intellectual and you always want to tear things apart and figure them out, this moon is going to drive you crazy. Right? Because you're going to have a really hard time doing it, because this moon is just more of a laid-back, mellow, get your tie-dye t-shirt on, and here we go. So, now this particular moon helps us understand our true intentions and illuminations of what is really guiding our lives. So this is also a good time to be quiet and take some alone time. Do some introspection, looking within. What are your triggers? What makes you happy, sad, angry, frustrated, numb? This is a perfect moon to look at those things. All right. What are behavioral patterns of your family that when something comes up, when a trigger hits, you all of a sudden blow up, right? Or the whole family reacts the same way with the same type of stimulus. Well, this is a perfect moon to sit down and to look at these things and deem to clear them. Now, family patterns tend to be passed on from generation to generation. That's why they're called family patterns. All right? And they can go on for hundreds of years. And it could have started with one particular individual who had an experience and then forced everybody in the family from that point on to behave a certain way. And then no one knows why we behave the way. Hello? That wasn't really me. All right. My battery must be dying. So this moon, if you look at these things, I tell people, if you know how to meditate, create sacred space, ask your guides, ask God, whatever your belief system is, to look at yourself, to see what these patterns are, but do it as if you're looking at a movie. You want to look at it with a cold eye, so you're not looking with any emotional attachment. All right? Because if it was something traumatic, you don't want to be re-traumatized. You want to see the... Okay. Cold, hard facts, right? So you can change them. Now, trust your intuition with this moon. Like I said before, if you are an if you are an overthinker, this moon will mess you up. This is a moon that you're supposed to follow follow your heart. Right? Trust your gut. Don't overanalyze. That's probably one of the biggest things about this particular moon. Is if you're feeling like you're supposed to be doing something and your intellect is saying, well, that's going to just screw things up in your life. Don't trust that. Because we all get that intuition. We all... How many follow their gut? Right? When they get something, or do you just sit there and try to do the cold hard facts and follow that? Now, I'll tell you, if you start trusting your gut, you're going to see so many new opportunities arise in your life. As long as you keep your mind open. Right? You don't have to figure it out. Sometimes it's just starting emotion and allowing momentum to carry you forward. Because if we overthink, then we create tunnel vision. It has to be a certain way. Life doesn't work that way. How many people know that term, let go, let God? Right? The native people had a burden basket. It's the same thing. What they couldn't figure out, no matter how hard they try, they would take an object and they'd put it in the burden basket, signifying that issue. And they'd leave it up to Great Spirit. All right? Because it's out of their hands. Nothing they do seems to work. So they send it to a higher power and let it go. And they don't revisit it because they don't need to. Everything's going to work out. So if we can remind ourselves through pushing away all our training, all of our behavior patterns, and trust the gut and just go with it, all of us can have peace, happiness, and it's work though. This is not easy. If you're willing to go to work every day and do your 9 to 5 or do maybe 20 extra hours a week, why don't you do that for yourself? Believe in you. That's all I got to say. Full moon coming, let's begin.
How you doing, John?
Good, how are you?
This is the man of the hour, John Thunderheart. He, how you doing, brother? He's the one that hosts the full moon drum circles every month, and you've been doing it for how long now?
9 years.
9 years. And it gets bigger and bigger every year. This is nothing. We've had up to like 300-400 people in here before, easy.
Yes.
That's great. Thank you, brother.
Yeah.
Sets up a donation jar for everyone to tip into every single time they come up here. And the funds themselves actually go towards purchasing instruments so others can actually play. So if nobody has an instrument, just show on up and there's something for you to play. It's pretty communal too, so we kind of just pass instruments off and whatnot. Some people donate drums to John, and overall just a great time for everybody.